AITA for refusing to cover a coworker's shifts because they keep calling in sick. They miraculously recover when there's a party to attend. Hi Reddit. I'm a 28-year-old shift supervisor at a casual dining restaurant, and I've been working here for almost 5 years. I'm not a manager, but I'm trusted with some responsibilities like organizing schedules, training new hires, and stepping in when people call out. Lately, there's been a problem with one of my coworkers. Sophie, fake name, and I need an outside perspective. Sophie is 23, started about 8 months ago, and while she's great with customers when she shows up, that's a big when. She's called out sick at least 7 times in the past 3 months, always on Fridays or Saturdays. What's weird is, she'll call in saying she's vomiting or has a bad migraine, but then post on her Instagram story later that night at some house party, concert, or beach bonfire. Like clockwork. She's too sick to work, then dancing in a glitter top 6 hours later. The first few times, I covered her shift because I figured, hey, people get sick. But after the 3rd time, I started noticing the pattern. I quietly brought it up with her once like, hey, just checking, weren't you really sick on Friday night? Saw your story at Mike's party. She brushed it off with a laugh and said, yeah, I started feeling better later. You know how it is. Last weekend was the last straw. I had a date planned. My first in months, and Sophie called out again with food poisoning. I got guilted into covering because we were short-staffed and I didn't want to let my team down. That night, she posted a video of herself doing karaoke at a birthday party. I was furious and decided I wasn't going to cover for her anymore. Yesterday, Sophie texted me asking if I could take her Saturday shift this weekend. I replied, sorry, I can't. You've been calling out a lot and I need my own time off too. She left me on read. Later, she complained to our manager that I was being unsupportive and creating a toxic environment. Now our manager wants to have a chat with me, and a few coworkers are split. Some think I'm being petty, while others say Sophie's obviously taking advantage. So Reddit. AITA for refusing to cover a coworker's shifts because they keep calling in sick, even though I know they're going to parties instead? Update. Wow, this blew up way more than I expected. Thanks to everyone who responded. I read every comment and I appreciate the validation, tough love, and advice. A few things have happened since my post. First, the meeting with my manager happened. I went in prepared. I printed out a list of the shifts I'd covered for Sophie over the last few months and matched them with her public Instagram stories. I made it clear that I wasn't trying to be a tattletale. But I wasn't going to keep sacrificing my personal time for someone who clearly wasn't being honest. My manager, let's call her Lisa, was actually pretty understanding. She admitted she'd started noticing a pattern with Sophie's absences too, but hadn't had enough to confront her yet. She thanked me for the documentation and said she'd look into it more formally. I also made it clear that I wasn't going to cover for Sophie anymore unless it was a true emergency, which I'm happy to do for literally anyone on our team who treats the job with respect. As for Sophie, she found out I snitched, and now she's full on giving me the silent treatment at work. No eye contact, no greeting, and she rolled her eyes at me during a team huddle. Whatever. I'm not here to be her friend. One of the other hosts, someone I didn't even think paid much attention, came up to me after our shift and said, honestly, good for you. We've all noticed how Sophie magically gets better for parties. So that felt good. Anyway, we'll see what happens next. I've got a couple days off. And I'm using them to actually relax instead of playing backup for the party girl. I'll update if anything big changes. Final update. Hey everyone, final update, hopefully. A lot has happened. And I think things have finally settled. Turns out Lisa did follow up with HR and started tracking attendance more closely. Sophie was spoken to and given an informal warning about dishonest callouts. Apparently, HR found inconsistencies between her reasons for absence and her public posts, go figure. After that, Sophie's attitude went nuclear. She started making passive-aggressive comments like, "Hope no one reports me for sneezing," and muttering, "teacher's pet," under her breath when I walked by. It was uncomfortable, but I stayed professional. Several coworkers told me they thought she was being childish. Last Friday, Sophie called in again, this time claiming her cousin was in the hospital. No posts on Instagram this time, but someone tagged her in a live video at a rooftop bar. That clip made it back to Lisa and HR, and that was the end of it. Sophie's been let go. Officially for attendance issues, not for partying, but we all know the real story. She posted a dramatic story about how some people can't handle being outshined, and then made her Instagram private. No one on staff seems particularly upset that she's gone. I've gotten a lot more respect at work since then. A few coworkers have even apologized for doubting me, and Lisa said she's considering bumping me up to assistant manager by the end of the summer. So, to everyone who asked, no, I don't think I was the a-hole. I was just tired of being taken advantage of, and honestly, standing up for myself was the best decision I've made in a while. Thanks again for all your support. You helped me keep my head up through this drama.